here with the coach of the state champion Detroit King Crusader. Man, how does that feel for me to say state champs?
Man, it's great. You know, that's it for us. You're the king of the hill when you get state championship. So that's the goal every year, man.
I talked to you before the season about the leadership, the maturity of Dante, which you've been seeing since his freshman year.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you take that championship walk, another level has to come out.
Right.
And it felt like we saw that from him last year.
Yeah, he definitely matured. You know, Dante, he speaks when he has to. You know, he's not a guy that's just like always vocal, but when he has to say it, you listen, you be quiet, you listen. He knows when to get into guys and when to kind of love them up, or, you know, what we used to say, the old school term, punch them and burp them, you know what I mean? So he knows how to do that, man, and he's, you know, a great kid, and everybody respects him.
So there are moments in every season that you could point to in a journey, and you say, man, that was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like the PSL championship was one of those moments. So
Yep.
TP's out.
Yep.
Fernando had passed away.
Yep.
The weather's bad.
Yep.
Y'all had beat the brakes off them. We're winning.
Yep.
And they're a good team.
Yep.
Take me in that moment
Yeah.
about how that turned around.
Yeah. Man, now that you say that, you know, it has me thinking, but that definitely had to be a moment, because even Dante, he was looking at the pass rush, because they got good pass rushers, Deion Walker and I think Jalen Thompson, all those guys. So, you know, one of the things I had to tell him was stop looking at the pass rush, you know, and I'm not even a quarterback guy, but I'm like, no, stop looking at the pass rush. But what he was able to do at halftime when he talked to those receivers, hey, you're not running your route right, you're not doing this right, you know, and no, be quiet. And like the way he was able to get them locked in, focused up, came out second half, different team. You know what I mean? And like, he really has that mindset of, you know, he's gonna go get it. He's gonna put everything into it to try to win the game. And like, I can honestly say I'm confident with the ball in his hand at the last seconds. Like that he's gonna give everything he can to make a play. And if it happens, I'm pretty much gonna say, yeah, I thought it would happen.
Was that different for him? I mean, he's always been a leader. You have to be a quarterback as a freshman. Well, was it different in that moment, that day?
Yeah, definitely. Just because, like you said, our offensive coordinator's out. It was just, he was just a little bit more. He knew the game plan or the play calling just wasn't the same, and so the way he just the second half heard what I had to say to him. I just said that one thing, and that was it. And he kind of took that thing and just got it going. And all I told him was, hey, you guys put us in this position, get us out. And they got us out of the position as a team, as a unit, and made plays when they had to. And, you know, but for him, yeah, he definitely rose to the occasion. I thought showed a lot of maturity, a lot of leadership, man.
So, I mean, you guys, I know it's like this with a lot of coaches, right? With your players are more like your family.
Mm-hmm.
It's very evident with all your guys, and very evident with Dante that he sees you guys as more Spence. That's coach, but that's Spence, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's important for him in a college coach? Is that something that you think he's going to gravitate to, or do you think it's just going to be, you know, business? Who's going to get me to the league? How do you think that's going to go?
He's definitely a relationship kid. He's a relationship kid, so it's definitely going to weigh a lot, you know, his position coach or offensive coordinator, that they have a relationship, not just business or, hey, you call these plays. Like, Dante's going to want to come to your house, man, and, like, you know, sit down and, hey, coach, what you doing? Like, he literally calls, like, we talk, like, hey, how the kids, you know, how's everything going? Like, he's just a genuine human being, you know, so he's going to want that. And so, you know, and I think those are things that he's going to look at. I know he's talked about them from time to time, and so, you know, it'd be interesting how the process turns out for him.
So it was very, you lived it. He chose to stay here and play at King. Yeah. He could have gone anywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Right, so, you know, he's come full circle now in college. Same thing. He could go anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
How big do you think the lure of going away, will it be bigger this time, the lure of going anywhere in the country versus staying home?
Yeah, I think, I definitely think it would be big. You know, it's people, they start to come out the woodworks now, and, you know, there's some guys that had certain quarterbacks ahead are now looking like, okay, let's get at Dante. But again, him being a relationship kid and being a kid who, is somebody who, when he likes to be comfortable, you know what I mean? And I think that at the end of the day, when it comes to it, he's gonna look to those things that he remembers that's close to him. So he went to Oregon, he went to a lot of different places, but I think at the end of the day, he's gonna look at some of the things that are, I think, a little bit closer to home, even if it is out of state or whatever. But it's gonna be close, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be right here in his backyard, you know what I mean? Like, honestly. So, but I think those are things that he's gonna definitely get to.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about a couple of schools closer to home. Not saying that he's going to go to those schools, but because he's been there recently, and I know you've been watching those staffs and how they recruit.
Absolutely, yeah.
It really feels like Notre Dame is a school that's really, really resonating because of the relationship that they've built. Is that something that you noticed?
Yeah, definitely. Notre Dame has built a really good relationship with him, him and the quarterback coach. He really likes him. It's a school that he likes. Been up there a couple times, and so I think, that's a realistic look for him, when you look at Notre Dame.
What about Michigan State?
I think Michigan State was a really good look for him, at first, and then they took a quarterback, and we were surprised that they took a quarterback, so early in February before waiting to see what Dante would do. So that those chances went out the door when they did that. I know they still may recruit him, and I know, Coach Johnson took they great guys, man, but it's not too many quarterbacks that want to play with two, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So Michigan, it's been an evolution because they had a quarterback coach they brought in Matt White, so he had to play catch up.
Yep.
Compared to some of the other guys.
Yep.
How is that process going, and what is his Michigan recruitment like?
I think that process is evolving, you know what I mean? Because I know he'll be here in the spring a lot more. I know Dante has talked to him. And getting that relationship to where it needs to be. And I think, too, even in the beginning, I think it was like, who's going to recruit Dante? Is it going to be Clinskill, who has a really good relationship with us? Is it going to be Bellamy, who I have a real good relationship with? Is it going to be Mike? Is it going to be, it's just like, who's going to do it? But then at the end of the day, you're talking about a quarterback. So you got to let the quarterback guys, talk it out and do their thing. So I know him and Coach Harbaugh got a great relationship. So it'll be interesting to see how it works out with Michigan. I know they're coming hard, though, this spring, talking to the coaches. So, yep.
So, how big do you think this is? I mean, it worked out great for you guys because DQ was on his way out when Dante was coming in, right?
Yeah.
Some of these schools have a quarterback that's going to be there for a year or two when Dante goes to college. So is that something that you think is going to play a role?
Not so much. I don't think it can be. You're gonna have to compete in college anyway. So if there's a guy there, it is what it is. You got to compete, and Dante will compete. So I don't really think that has a lot to play with, especially if a guy be a junior by the time he comes as a freshman. That's not going to be an issue, or whoever the other quarterbacks are. He'll compete for those spots. So he's not looking for it to just be wide open. But I think. When you do think about college football, we don't ever want our kids transfer all the time. So he does want to go somewhere where it's okay, this makes sense. I can see myself playing here at this time. So he'll look at that and take in consideration. So hopefully, if it ain't a true freshman starting or nothing like that, a school got a chance, for his services, I think.
You look at his talent, Spence. You've been a head coach of a lot of great players, assistant. You've coached against a lot of great players. It feels like, I don't want to speak it before he's done, but it feels like he's cusping on, really, really setting his name apart when it comes to guys that have come out of the city, guys that have come out of the state of Michigan, especially when you're a quarterback, right? Do you feel that way about him?
I do. There's a lot of great guys that came out of here. I think we talked about, in the past, at King, you had Darnell Dickerson. It was another guy that went to Henry Ford. Hall was his last name, I believe, from Henry Ford. That was a really good quarterback. And these guys, back then Colorado was a big-time program. He went to Colorado. So I think Dante, man, when you look at him and some of the things that he's able to do, and like you said, I thought DeQuan Finn, for us, it was DeQuan Finn is, he started at Toledo. But it's man, Dante just came in and he, overdid DQ. Now DQ do have two state championships, but like just just how he throws the ball and stuff, man, is amazing. So I mean, you talk about one of the top quarterbacks to come out of here. You have some great ones, Devin Gardner. The kid that went to Brother Rice. We played against him. I forgot his name, but I think he came out and he went to Michigan actually. Forgot his name, but real good kid. Played ball.
What was his name, Dre?
Is Jermaine Gonzalez?
No, that was what you're like. I know who you're talking about. Malzone. Alex Malzone.
Alex
Yeah.
Malzone.
Yeah.
So it was some guys. It was some great quarterbacks. So for him to be, he has a chance, man, to be one of the top ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Drew
Especially
Henson, all those guys.
Yeah,
man, some great guys.
Yeah, take you back. All right, so you watch him during the season. He put recruiting to the side.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to do that this season.
Yeah.
So that being the case, do you think he gets his decision out of the way before the season starts?
I hope so. You know what I mean? Just from a cultural perspective, I hope so. We talked about trying to get some visits done, May and in June, to try to get this thing kind of done. I think he's starting to know who the top schools are, and those are schools he's going to visit. So, so it'll be interesting and to see how it plays out. I know this April is going to be big. It's going to be really big when these schools come around. And then the schools who call, that's that's just kind of man, what happened? We ain't talked to you in a long time. They call back asking for transcripts. So, but it's all good, man. It's part of the process. And, I'm just glad to be doing it with Dante, man. You know what I'm saying? He's him and his dad, they've done a great job, man. His father's done a great job with him.
Yeah, man. And let me give y'all some credit. I mean, look, y'all have coached some great teams, some great players. You had championships before Dante got here, but it feels like to me when he came, y'all looked at his skill set and said, you know what, we can branch out offensively. We can expand the arsenal, so to speak, because you know how it is. There's stereotypes about city offenses, right, and how you guys win.
Yep.
Y'all bucked that trend, and it seemed like there was a concerted effort made to do that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Dante and his skill set, and you look at Daquan was more of a running quarterback. Daquan really had to he became a better passer as he went on. I think Daquan I think DJ was a better passer as he was younger. And so you look at that, I think we just had to do things a little differently. It wasn't a lot of zone read options and stuff like that, and just throw the fade ball. You look at his film, you see the immediate, intermediate routes, you see the check downs, you see him running. You see him do a lot of different things. But it's just credit to Tyrell, man. That's one of my good friends and our office coordinator, man. He does a great job with the offense, and we challenge each other. I challenge him with the defense. He challenges me. I mean, we go at it. It's hard checking their offense when I'm on the defensive coordinator, and sometimes we get at him. And so it's great. But I can tell you, man, practice sometimes, though, with him and Dante, man, it's something. Because Dante, man, he'll pick you. He puts the ball in the best places, man. His accuracy is everything. And so I think that's what really sets him apart.
Yeah, you got coaching to go do, so I don't want to hold you too much longer. I'll just say this squad you just had, Dante's back, but a lot of the weapons are they're going on to the next level. So it's a different challenge for you and for him. Kind of take me into next season. Yeah,
I'm excited about it. I love when it's like this because you really get to see the coaching aspect in it. And so we got a lot of young talent, guys who haven't played a lot on the outsides, and he'll have to throw to those guys, but they'll be ready to go. They'll be ready to go. So it'll be fun. Can't wait till some of those names start popping up and you guys get to know some of these young kids and stuff like that. So, but that definitely will be a challenge. But he's up for it. He's ready to go. 7-on-7 will be real important for us to get some continuity. I think we'll be actually up at Michigan this year. I know they're really trying to get us to do it. So get up there and show our stuff.
Last one for you, Spence. You be the coach. You're recruiting Dante. How do you get it done? How do you get Dante in the fold for your program? You know him. How would you recruit him?
If I'm recruiting Dante, I'm just being honest with him. I'm being honest about depth charts, the plan for him, telling him to come in and compete, and I'm building that relationship with him. I'm coming to, hey, are you at track meets? Are you running track? Are you what you got going on? I want to come see you. I want to come whatever it is, wherever he's at, I'm gonna do that. I think you don't want to be lazy with him because he's such a relationship type kid that when you show you care, that's what he wants to be around. He wants to be around that love, that caring, because that's where he's from. So that's what I would do if I was with Dante. Trying to get.
Spence.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.